On this episode of the Bowser Journal, I talk about how to get rats out of your barn. Yes, we have rats. The project that I had allotted for today was put up the Premier 1 goat fencing so the goats could have a bigger area for them to roam around in. As you saw in a previous video, we purchased the wrong fencing, so we had to take that down, and we are now waiting for the new fencing to come here so we can do that over again. Watch that video if you want to see more of what happens there. So I'm going to change gears, and I got a couple other projects I can do today, and one of them is going to be to get rid of the mice and the rat that we have floating around our barn. One of the methods that you can use to get rid of a rat or a mouse is obviously to have a cat. We don't have a cat currently, and on top of that, I'm not a big fan of cats, and I'm afraid that the cats would attack or hurt the ducks or the chicken. I know it's going to hurt Jenny because Jenny will take it for herself, but the other ones won't, and I don't want that happening. Plus, Nico is not going to be very welcoming to a cat. And even if we do get a cat, I don't want it being chased by Nico all the time because Nico isn't used to having a cat around. So we're going to use a different method to try to get rid of this thing. You're probably wondering how I know I have rats, right? At first I saw the physical evidence of them. This is a lid off one of my 5-gallon feeder containers. As you can see, they've chewed the top right off of that, right? At first I thought it was just squirrels, but it wasn't, because we also have in our goat area, our duck and chicken area, and also our brooder, we have blink security cameras so we can check in on our animals. And we noticed that there was a rat running around first in the goat pen and then now in the duck pen. It's bad is because the rat or the mouse could bite or injure one of our animals, and I don't want that happening. But more likely what's going to happen is they're eating their food, which I don't mind paying for feed for my birds or my goats, but I'm not going to feed a rodent. So I need to get rid of this thing. And more importantly, what if it pees or poops in the feed that the animals eat? Now they could be potentially poisoned because of that. So I need to get rid of this thing. So obviously there's ways that you can get rid of them. You can use a standard rat or mouse trap where it's just a spring-loaded thing on a piece of wood. It snaps and breaks its neck. But I don't want to do that. So I want to do it, DIY. And also I want to do it so where either me or more importantly my wife has to handle it very little. So I did a DIY search on YouTube for how to get rid of a rat or mouse. And I came across one very interesting method where they take a piece of all thread and then they'll put it inside of a bucket and put a pipe around that. So when the mouse comes on, it spins and they fall into the bucket. You can fill the bucket with water. You can fill the bucket with sawdust. If you don't want to kill the rat, you would fill it with sawdust and then you would just relocate the rat. Me, I'm probably going to fill it with water because I don't want this thing coming back. On this particular time, instead of building my own, I opted to go ahead and just hop on Amazon and buy a rolling mouse trap. And the reason I did that is because I knew I was going to be getting home super late on Friday night, and I wasn't going to want to go over to a hardware store first thing Saturday morning to make this. So I just went ahead and ordered and had it waiting for me when I got home. And this is what it looks like when you take it out of the package. So it's got a piece of metal already. It's got a piece of all thread that you're going to drill through the side of the bucket. And I'll show you this when I put it in. You screw this in, then when the mouse climbs across this is a little piece that you put across. You put some peanut butter on there. So that way when the mouse comes across, it spins, and it falls in. And then you can get rid of the mouse without actually having to touch the mouse. So let's go ahead and build this and see how long it takes. And then in a future video, I'll go ahead and tell you. So here's my 5-gallon bucket. We purchased 30 of these from a local farmer. Actually, the same farmer that we bought the goats off of. He was selling these for $1 a piece. So we went ahead and purchased 30 of them because you can always use something like this around the ranch. So again, the way this is going to work is I'm going to just drill a hole, put that in there, and then when the mouse comes across, he's going to go, psh. Now I also want to put a piece of ramp on here as well. So let's get started on this project and let's get this done. I've already made a mistake. I forgot to put this on. So now I got to take this back apart. So now what will happen is when the mouse comes in, when they put their feet over this, they lose control, and it's just going to spin and fall in. And then these little nuts and lock washers are going to lock it in, that all thread in for us all nice and tight. And from pushing it through the plastic, it doesn't want to seem to go on right away, but we'll get it on there. So we'll go ahead and tighten them up. Make sure that still spins. It does. So now this is set and ready. What I need now is a piece of wood to act as a ramp for the mouse to get up to this. So let's get a piece of wood and screw this in. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and attach the wood. And would you guys quit whispering? Look, do me a favor, just kind of hold that there, okay? And kind of hold the bucket. We got one side done. Now we need to get the other side done. All that's left now is to put water in there. We've used the DIY mousetrap for about a week and have not caught anything. And I think the reason for that is because Mother Nature has built a better mousetrap. Let's go take a look at that.
Don't let it get in our, we can't let it get in there. Don't kill it. We need to take it away from here.
Do what? Okay, well, I already got bit once.
We have a good friend here. It was trying to go into our coop, so we're trying to just reposition him on our property, because this is a Florida king snake. He's probably a good 4 feet long. I almost picked him up with some branches, and my son scared me to death and said, "Watch out for that snake," but it's a king snake.
Where's my phone?
So I don't really consider it a fail, because having snakes around, the good kind of snakes, will help get rid of the mice and stuff. But they can also eat your eggs and your baby chicks. So we got to watch that carefully. But we'll keep you updated on the DIY mousetrap, let you know if it catches anything. So until then, live your own story. For now, I won't bet on my baby Noelle.